All right. Good afternoon. It is officially afternoon. Yes, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this week's session of Life Hacking 101. And just a reminder, Life Hacking 101, the series is a joint effort of Student Life, Library Services, and Career Services. And this week, we get to hear from the amazing A-Leaf Hayes librarian, Jessica Kim, who is going to share with you multiple ways the HCC Library can help you succeed. And I will turn it over to her in just a moment, but just so that everybody knows, you are welcome to ask questions throughout the session. Jessica is totally awesome and capable of handling those as they come in the chat and what have you. So ask away as she goes along. And Jessica, without further ado, it's all yours.
Thank you, Sean. So hi, everyone. I'm Jessica, a librarian at HCC, and I'm happy to meet you all. I'm excited to be here, so I hope you are too. Today, I'm going to inform you about the different resources that a library has. I remember when I was a student, I always thought that the library was just a place to get books and to study. And we certainly do have great books and study spaces here. But I don't know about you all, but I like free stuff. And as a student at HCC, you have access to millions of resources that would otherwise cost you tens of thousands of dollars individually. And you can access them on campus or at home in your PJs. And I can't emphasize these resources enough because one of my biggest regrets in college was not utilizing the resources that were available to me as a student. And many times I teach students about something that the library has, and they're like, wow, that's really cool. I never knew that the library could do that. So I definitely don't expect you to memorize everything that I covered today, but I encourage you to take note of these resources, store it in the back of your mind, write them down, because you never know when you're going to need them. So I'm going to start our hour by giving an overview of what's available to you. Then I'll go into a live demonstration and cover some specific resources. And if I say something that sounds particularly intriguing to you, make a note of it and type it in the chat later when I ask for recommendations so that I know what to go over first. And if you have questions at any point, please type them into the chat. There will be a Q&A session later that I can also go over and I'll answer them. Okay, so the first, and in my personal opinion, the most important resource available to you are librarians. This comes as a surprise to some people, but librarians aren't sitting at the desk all day just to sit pretty and read books or to shush people. I have so many students who come up to me nervously because they're worried that they're asking an obvious question or that they're bothering me, and this is not the case at all. It is our job to help you succeed at HCC and beyond, whether it's in school or work or your personal life. So please don't hesitate to ask us for help. We are here to provide research help and to connect you with the resources you need. And we're not necessarily experts in every field, and I won't claim to know everything, even though I wish I did, but we are really good at finding high quality sources of information. And we've all been there where you get an assignment and you feel like you've been chucked out into the deep end with no warning. So if you ever get one of those assignments and you're starting to feel the stress, don't be scared. Take a deep breath and come talk to a librarian. We won't write your paper for you, but we'll make sure you have all the resources and tools to write an A+ paper. And besides physically coming into the library, another way to contact us is by using our live chat, as you can see in this screenshot. On the library's homepage, you can click on the little Ask Us button on the bottom right corner, or if you stay on the page long enough, Ask a Librarian pop-up will appear and won't go away, so you know how to contact us. Once you start a chat, you will be able to converse with the librarian within seconds. And just keep our hours of operation in mind because there won't be a librarian who will be available to answer your last minute essay questions at midnight. And I've also included my own email address here, jessica.kim@hccs.edu, in case you have any questions about what I've covered today or need research help in the future. I'm primarily at the A-Leaf Hayes campus, but I'm still a resource for all of you no matter what campus you're from. I won't ever go like, oh, you're not from A-Leaf, please don't talk to me. That is not the case. This applies to any librarian within HCC. Although we may each have our own home campus or college, we help any HCC student. So next is technology. The libraries have computers and printers that you can use while you're on campus. However, we also have equipment that you can borrow and take home, such as laptops and hotspots, and they can be checked out for an entire semester. Just make sure not to break them and to return them on time, just as you would a physical book. A library assistant will explain all the terms and conditions when you check them out at the circulation desk. So just make sure you pay attention to them because these things can get really expensive. So writing help. Some, if not most of you, have written a college paper by now. And if you haven't yet, don't worry. I'm sure there's one coming up for you within your time here, no matter what you're studying. I thought college papers were going to be a piece of cake because I thought I did well enough with high school English, but then my professors were asking for scholarly articles and peer reviewed journals and whatever. And I was like, did I miss a class on this or something? So if you feel like you're the only one who doesn't know something, don't worry because I can assure you that you're not alone and your peers are also confused. There may be times when it feels like your professor assumes that you're already a proficient researcher in your field when that's not the case. And thankfully for you, the library has many great resources to help you get started, including tutorials on how to start scholarly research, get citation help, and also we have some writing tips. For those of you who like to find information online, don't want to carry 500 pounds of physical books every day, or have very specific research needs, you will most likely need to use one of the hundreds of databases that HCC licenses. So a database is a storehouse of information where you can find all kinds of resources like books, scholarly journals, newspapers, magazines, videos, music, images, data, everything. You can also use the databases for use outside of schoolwork, like finding up to date health information, adulting stuff like legal forms, or magazine articles and videos for leisure. And I like to use this analogy. Think of it as if you're shopping for information and the database you choose will depend on your need. For example, if you're shopping for shoes, you may look at various sites such as Amazon, eBay, Craigslist, etc., until you find a pair that's the best fit for your needs. Now, let's apply it to school. Let's say your professor assigned you an essay where you have to write about an issue in the current news, and you're required to use at least two scholarly articles. A Google search will not be enough to fulfill the assignment's requirements, so you will need to use the library's resources. On our A to Z database page, we have almost 300 databases listed, which is a pretty big number. So if you're lost and confused and don't know where to start, come talk to a librarian, and we'll save you hours of your life by teaching you where to look and how to search efficiently through our databases. Or if you have a lot of time one day, scroll through our list and read the little descriptions to find something that sparks your interest. You never know what you need. So the DIY databases, I touched on this before, but the databases can be used for personal use that's unrelated to schoolwork, like leisure and entertainment. And yes, even in college, you can have time for fun things. And in fact, I highly encourage you all to take up a hobby or two to unwind from the chaos of everything and to prevent burnout. These first two, the Hobbies and Craft Reference Center and the Home Improvement Reference Center, are two great places to look for inspiration for a future project. And the third one, Flipster, is a database that houses a lot of our magazines that you can read for leisure, like Forbes, The New Yorker, People, and Time. And there are also magazines related to cooking, fitness, DIY stuff, etc. So I highly recommend that you take a look. I also want to highlight Learning Express Library 3.0. Here at the libraries, we like to promote lifelong learning because we want you to prepare you all for life beyond college and education. So this Learning Express Library database has self-directed content that will help you prepare for all kinds of exams, like nursing certifications, the GED, stuff like that, and help you brush up on certain skills like computer and software, math, speaking, grammar, all that good stuff. So research guides. These guides are curated lists of resources that HCC librarians and faculty have created on a topic, such as a particular subject, course, program, learning skill, community event, etc. These guides include library resources, but they also include other authoritative sources of information like government websites or links to other educational institutions. So rather than starting from square one, you can refer to a guide as a jumpstart for your research. So think of it as a little cheat sheet for you. Course reserves. So how many of you like paying hundreds of dollars for textbooks that you'll use for just one semester? I'm looking at you, chemistry. Just kidding. I certainly didn't. Now, how many of you know that the library has free copies of those same textbooks? I can't guarantee that we have every book for every course at the college available at this time because that's a work in progress. But the libraries do have course reserves, which means we have copies of certain textbooks available for use within the library. And you can't take them home, but you can use them while you're on campus, or you can scan a few pages of the book and email the PDF to yourself, so long as you comply with the copyright rules. So, as long as you're not scanning the entire book. So, take a look to see if we have one of your required books and save your money to do fun things. And the last thing I'll cover are career resources. If you have written the career paper in an EDUC 1300 course, you may remember using some of the library's career resources. They include information about specific occupations, resources to help plan for your future, sites to learn career skills, program and certification information, exam prep, tips to build your resume, and sites to find your next job. And even if you aren't sure what you want to do, it's never too early to start exploring. So now we're going to switch gears and I'm going to do a live demonstration of some of the resources I've covered. If you have a specific one you'd like me to go over right now, you can type it into the chat. Otherwise, I just have a list that I'll go through. And while I'm doing the demonstration, if you would like me to go over certain steps or repeat something, please don't hesitate to let me know and I'll gladly go over it again. And I will switch my screen. And I encourage you to follow along if you can. This way you can get some practice in. Sorry. I have too many windows open. I am so sorry. Okay, so hopefully everyone knows how to get to the library homepage, but if you don't, that is perfectly fine. There are many ways to get to there. So my personal favorite is to just oops, wrong tab. To just Google Houston Community College Library, and will be the first hit that pops up. Another way to get there is through the ACCS homepage. You'll just scroll all the way down, and then on the right side, you'll go to libraries right here. And then the third way is to go to My Eagle, and then where one of the little buttons, these always move around, is right there. So we're always one of the little tiles that you can click on. So just to avoid confusion, I'm going to keep it to one. So this is our home page, and we have a lot of our resources here. As I mentioned before, this little button right here is the Ask Us. So you can fill out this form and then chat with the librarian in real time. And we'll have our hours right here. And so without further ado, let's get into the resources. So um, our catalog is for books, but if you scroll down, you can find our ebook catalog. So an ebook is available to you 24/7, whether you're on campus or off campus, and you can get it at a click of a button. So if you need books for your research or you just want a book to read, you can definitely use our ebooks. Now back to the home page. Um, if you click on this research and writing tab at the top, this will have all of our resources related to, oh, there's the Ask Us button that I told you about. So the research and writing resources, this is just an overview. We have a lot of stuff like how to begin research, the information about the information cycle, and a lot of people like our style guide. So the librarians have made um, guides to help with MLA, APA, Chicago Manual. So yeah, definitely take a look at these because ACC takes academic integrity very seriously. So um, we want to make sure that no one plagiarizes or loses points for not citing things correctly. And I also want to show this writing skills. Um, will provide skills on how to format papers, the difference between Google and library resources. And if you click on this, it'll bring you to another page that shows you how to write. Okay, so now we'll go back to the library's homepage. And now I want to highlight our A to Z database page. So we'll click on this databases link right here. And as you can see, we have almost 300 databases listed. So the one that you'll choose will depend on your need. And you can definitely filter through the databases using these facets right here. Like for example, a format, if you're only looking for newspapers, you would filter through newspapers. Um, but I'm going to start with some research databases. The one I'll be covering today is ProQuest. So just keep in mind we have two. There's ProQuest Ebook Central, which is for books, and then ProQuest Research Library. So if you need articles or journals, that's where you'll want to be. And I'm on campus right now, so it took me directly to the database. When you're at home and you're accessing something that HCC has licensed or bought, you definitely want to access it through the A to Z database page, and then you'll be prompted to enter your W number and your password, and you'll know that you're logged in because somewhere on the page it'll say access provided by Houston Community College or TechShare. And this lets you know that you have access to the stuff that HCC has already bought. Please never pay for anything. The librarians have already bought many resources for you. And if you are hit with a paywall or have difficulty accessing this site, let us know and we'll help you get to there. So this is a typical database. You'll just see a search bar and you'll do a keyword search, much as you would through Google. And there's specific resources that you can look for, like scholarly journals, books, videos, and audio. There's images, etc. So another type of database that I want to cover is, oops, newspapers. So let's go ahead and actually filter through for newspapers. Oops. And you have to go to all. And then this is a list of all of our newspapers. Um, so let's look at Gale 1 file. And each database will have access to different news publications. So for example, the Houston Chronicle will have Houston Chronicle. The Gale 1 file will have many. So if you go to publication search, so for example, the New York Times, and then you press search, and you click on that one, you can see all of the years and dates that we have access to. And then you would click on the issue that you want to read. Okay. And sometimes, depending on which class you're in, your professor might ask you to watch a video, in which case you can look through our streaming media, or maybe you want to just watch something for fun. For example, one of my personal favorites is Canopy Streaming. So let's bring you to you'll have to sign up for an account, and you can sign up using your ACC email, and that way you have access to the stuff that ACC has licensed. But there's a lot of great independent material here and documentaries, and yeah, so you can use this for school and for fun. So that was Canopy. Another one that you can use for fun are magazines, and I really want to highlight Flipster. So I anticipate a problem, but yeah. So please don't ask me why, but when you try to access it through the HCC databases page, you will get this error. So um, what you should do instead is just go back to your home page, and then if you scroll down, you'll actually see a little like Flipster module thing, and then you can just click on one that looks interesting, and then if you click on this Flipster thing, you'll actually see all of the magazines that we have access to. So you just click on it, and then um, let's wait for that to get brought up. And then you would go to all issues and then choose the issue that you want. So I also wanted to use this chance to add a little caveat. Our databases sometimes have issues with Google Chrome. So it'll like say, this is not a secure network or something. So I would recommend using a different browser like Safari or Internet Explorer, or come to a librarian and we'll try to troubleshoot with you. So next I want to see. I want to go over Learning Express. So Learning Express Library 3.0, again, is for um, test prep, for lifelong learning, for just basic skills that you want to brush up on. So like, for example, if you want to do adult core skills, like how to become a citizen, how to improve math, writing, speaking, grammar skills, there's computer skills, there's career resources here as well. So yeah, definitely take advantage of this because it's for free. And another test prep. So if you want practice exams, another really great one is Mometrix. I don't know if any of you here are into nursing or the med program or just anything that has tests involved. You can use Mometrix eLibrary and they'll provide practice exams and exam prep materials. So for example, a really popular one that nursing students like to use is the HESI. So as you see, there's the practice test, there's the flashcards, and then there's even like tips on the exam itself. Okay. And lastly, I want to go over the Hobbies and Crafts Reference Center. So this is one of the DIY databases that I highlighted. And as you can see, you can browse by category, you can browse by keywords. So if you're looking for inspiration for your next topic, like I've always said that I want to get into scrapbooking, could never commit, but maybe this is the perfect chance. You'll just go to scrapbooking and then look for ideas, inspiration. There's also, I believe, under home and garden, there's cooking or baking. So if you want recipes, it's just a really fun database. So yeah, that is it for our databases, unless someone wants me to go over a certain one or really wants me to go in depth into one. Please just type it into the chat and I'm more than happy to go over it again. Otherwise, I will go back to the library's homepage and continue on. And the next one I will go over are our research guides. So on this page here, it's right there next to media and under faculty resources. So First will be our research guides by program, subject, or center of excellence. So for example, if you're just interested in engineering, you would see all of our guides related to engineering. Um, if you go back, we have guides for specific courses. Not all the courses, as you can see here, but some of your professors might have it. Does Mometrix cover psych exams? So good question. Let's find out. So we'll go to the A to Z databases page and then go to Mometrix. And again, at home, you would have to log in with your W number and password. And then for psychology, perhaps it's under counseling and social work. It might be under medical professional, depending on which type of psychology. Um, I don't know the name of the psych exam off the top of my head. Perhaps you know, and you can type it into the chat. Um, Again, this is where librarians don't know everything, but we're learning with you. So I'll give him a second to answer the chat. Um, okay, so Sean brought up a good point. You can use the search bar and just type psychology, and you'll get a lot of flashcards, tests, and you'll scroll down. Yeah, so definitely play around. I won't say I'm an expert at everything. So, like I said, it's a learning process. Okay, so going back to the research guides, thank you for your question. Um, we also have guides on like learning skills, so about how to use specific databases, how to use library resources. You'll see the writing guides here as well. If you're ever interested in using the library's One Button Studio to do some recording, we'll have that too. And Credo Reference is another database. So we have very detailed guides on those. And then community guides, these are more of our fun ones. So there's life hacking here. And then our reading culture, if you're into the reading, we have a month or a book that we do every semester, and so on and so forth. So we'll go back to the library homepage, and then we'll go to the course reserves. So there's two ways to find course reserves. You can either click on this, the course reserves page, or if you notice, this is our catalog. So usually it'll look like this, and then you'll just have to click on this little tab at the top. And then you'll either search by your course or by your professor. And again, it's possible that we don't have the book that you need, in which case, talk to a librarian. We'll see what we can do, or we'll help you find a book that's similar. Um, but just keep in mind, we're different than the bookstore. You can't buy it and then check it out for the entire semester. These are for typically, they're for on campus use within the library. Okay, and let me go back to the library's homepage. And lastly, I want to go over the career resources. So some of the databases that I highlighted earlier, like the Learning Express library, does provide career resources, but these pages are specifically for career stuff. So I believe you'll be doing another life hacking on career services, but this is what the library has curated for you. So we have the HCC Career Coach, and then other HCC resources, and then you'll see the Learning Express library listed on here, Mometrix, and then other resources that are outside of HCC. So like for example, the Occupational Outlook Handbook is by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and we linked that. And this one is a really fun one, the Texas Reality Check. So I recommend that you use this. It's really fun. So basically, You put in stuff like what you want in your life and what kind of lifestyle you want, and then you'll see what kind of salary you'll need to feasibly have that lifestyle. And it's a really good reality check. And yeah, so on the side here, you'll also find resources for building your resume or finding your next job, like resources like Indeed, LinkedIn, like places to find the actual job itself. So, unless anyone has something that they want me to go over, I'm going to stop my screen share for the demonstration. So again, there's a lot of stuff, but if you notice, I always went back to the HCC Oops, the library's homepage, and you would be able to find everything here. Oops. Okay, so yeah, as a final note, I want to add that everything I covered today is by no means a comprehensive list of everything that a library has to offer. So I highly encourage you to talk to one of us to find out what else we have for you, or just come by to say hi. Librarians in general may be an introverted species, but we love meeting our students and helping them. It's really cute when they say hi and we remember you guys, so don't worry. Other than that, it's everything from me. So thank you everyone for your time. If you have any questions, please, this is the time to type it into the chat. Um, so someone asked, how can I purchase a hard copy of a book for my English class from an HCC bookstore? So um, what I would recommend doing is going online. It's through Barnes and Nobles now, I believe. Um, I don't know which campus you're at, but each bookstore has its own hours. So you want to double check first. And you can either order it online or you can go to the store itself and purchase it. So yeah, if you need to rent or buy a book, that would be through the bookstore. If you just want to borrow it for a couple hours, but not keep it the entire semester, that would be the library. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Jessica. I'm curious because everybody has their favorites. What is your favorite library database? It's a super nerdy question.
Oh gosh, you're telling me to play favorites?
Yes, play favorites. What's your favorite?
Um, okay, I'm guilty and I will say that I'm super basic, and for first time students who have never used a database, I will recommend ProQuest or Academic One File because you can find basically anything on any topic there. Um, but for fun, I have been using Flipster a lot because sometimes I'm just tired of the news and I just need to read something fun.
No, I
So I
hear
just,
that.
yeah, I just open up a magazine and I'm just like, let me look at food and think of what I want to make for lunch, but will probably never be able to make, but at least it makes my heart happy, you know?
And it's like the full page, beautiful magazines, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not even just like little, this is the text from the magazine. So I love
Yeah.
it so much too.
Yeah.
So I'm not seeing any other questions come in. And y'all, if you do have any questions, put them in. Jessica, is there a way, I know you shared the chat and you said, come on into the libraries. Is there a way if somebody has any specific questions for you that they can contact you directly?
Yes. So I'll put my email in the chat again. Um, It's jessica.kim@hccs.edu. Um, Let me go back. Where did I have it? Right
There it
there.
is.
So, yeah, please
Perfect.
talk to me.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Oh, there is another question.
How many days at a time can we check out a book? Okay, so, um, oh gosh, I should know this. I believe you have 2 or 3 weeks, but you do have, Sean, can you?
Yes, I can feel that. That's fine.
Okay.
So yes, most books it's 3 weeks. There are some small exceptions, like if it's a textbook that's on reserve, then it's 2 hours inside the library. But most books are 3-week checkouts, and you can renew them twice. So technically, unless somebody else requests to sit behind you, most things you can have up to 9 weeks.
And I just want to add really quickly, if you find a book on our catalog, and let's say you're a student at A-Leaf and you want the physical book, but we don't have it, but Spring Branch has it, you can have it sent over to A-Leaf for free so that you don't have to make the drive out there, because some of the campuses get really far, and it's a completely free service. So it just takes a few days, like 1 or 2, to get over here, but you can definitely place a hold online yourself, or you can ask a librarian for help. And then that's for the 3-week period, that's for physical books. For ebooks, you can just open the book and open the site, and it's there.
Great. Okay, so they have your contact information. They can get back to you. And if there's any other questions, we can maybe hold on for a moment, but I don't see any others coming through. So Jessica, thank you so much for your time today to talk to us about the library.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank
You
you.
covered so much. And so I know that some people are going to need to watch this again. I know Dominique is going to talk about how they can do that in just a minute. Next week, everybody, if you join us next week, we will be hearing from Career Services with how to write a winning resume with Career Services Specialist Marthaline Cooper. And I'm going to hand it over to Dominique now to close us out, but thank you so much for joining us, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Jessica. Dominique Brown here from the Office of Student Life. I just wanted to share that this video will be available for playback on our YouTube channel. I will send an email out from our Northwest Office of Student Life email that will basically share information about how to access the video with the direct link. And then 3 lucky students who are attending will actually be entered into, all students will be entered into a raffle for 3 $25 e-gift cards. And so we'll have 3 lucky students that will win. And so just please be on the lookout via your student email for that notification as well. If you are a winner, you'll receive the email. And then also in that email that I send out for the YouTube link, it will include the winners announced there as well. And if you are attending this event for Eagle Points, please allow at least 2 to 3 business days for us to upload the attendance. If y'all are not familiar with Eagle Points, it's really simple. Basically, attend certain student life events and get points that you can redeem for student life swag. And that's going to be it for me. Thank you again, Miss Jessica Kim. And I'm going to pass it back to you, Sean.
All right, sounds great. Thank you again, Jessica. Thank you again for everybody who joined us for today's life hacking. I'm going to go ahead and end the recording. You would think I would know how to do that by now.